Hello and welcome everybody, I'm the Rambling Director. I wanted to keep on my Wednesday and Friday schedule I've been on recently because I have been very inconsistent in recent years with uploading, and I think I'm finally hitting my stride here. So I didn't have anything major planned today, but this is a video I've wanted to make for a little while, at least a couple years. These are the 12 underrated Christmas songs that, in my opinion, I think deserve way more attention. Some of them you'll have heard of, some of them do get played on the radio, but not that often. Some of these songs are popular carols, but I think a specific version deserves more attention. Others you'll have never heard at all. Now the top 9 on this list will be in no particular order, so number 12 I think deserves as much attention as number 4. However, 3, 2, and 1 will be the ones that I think deserve the most attention, the ones that I think are the most underrated. So with that said, let's jump right into it. Number 12, Last Christmas by Savage Garden. I know that Last Christmas gets a lot of attention and a lot of people have done covers, but I think the version by Savage Garden is better than the original version done by Wham! I know that is high praise, especially from somebody who is a big George Michael fan, but I think that this is just better in every regard. I think Darren Hayes is such an underrated singer, and Savage Garden, when it was out, was a popular band, but now it's pretty much sunk into obscurity. The only reason I even heard their cover was because it was on a compilation album with another, dozen songs, and it was given no special attention. But man, I love their version of this song. I think it is the absolute best. Thank God It's Christmas by Queen. This is one of only a very few Christmas songs that Queen ever put out, and if you've watched this channel since the beginning, you know I'm a huge Queen fan. Especially, I just have a thing for Freddie Mercury in general. But what makes this song so good is just kind of that sort of raw energy that Freddie Mercury put into all of the songs he sang. When he sings the line, "Thank God It's Christmas," you genuinely believe that he's really just out of the depths of his soul, ecstatic that Christmas has come around. Number 10, Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday by NSYNC. I know, I look like the kind of guy who would listen to boy bands, don't I? Yeah, it's true. And in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was just a kid, I had 2 sisters. So I listened to a lot of boy bands. This really is the only NSYNC song that I hear on popular radio at all, and it's just at Christmas time. But it is a really great song. I particularly like the line in the chorus that goes, "With blessings from above, God sends you his love." That just gives me warm fuzzies inside. Number 9. So this one's kind of a cheat, but it's only because these songs, they're all built around the same classic Christmas carol. One's a parody, one's a reimagining, and one is kind of a sequel. I call this my penance because I'm not a huge fan of the 12 Days of Christmas song. I know, unforgivable sin of Christmas, but I'm not a huge fan of that song. There's only a few versions that I really quite like. So with that said, Alan Sherman's parody version, which is basically singing about all the junk he got for Christmas, and the kind of iconic Partridge in a Pear Tree line is replaced with "and a Japanese transistor radio." And the things that he gets are increasingly tacky and ridiculous, and for whatever reason, it really just kind of feels so relatable to Christmas. We've all had those years where everything that we got was just something we would not want in a million years, and that's kind of what this song is about. The standout line for me is, instead of 5 golden rings, he sings, "A statue of a naked lady with a clock where her stomach ought to be." I don't know why, it just cracks me up. Second is the reimagining. This one is by Frank Sinatra. And it's all basically kids giving their father things for Christmas. I like this because the gifts seem a little more personalized and they seem kind of I don't know, just more heartfelt, because there is a personal relationship that a lot of us can relate to. I get the symbolism of the 12 days of Christmas. I get the thing everybody's constantly saying, well, don't you know, the 12 days, when you add up all the gifts, it adds up to 365. Isn't that clever? Yes, it's clever. It doesn't mean that the song is not annoying to me. But the Frank Sinatra version I do like. And finally, a few different people have done this. My favorite version is the cover by Conundrum. Or, well, actually, it may have been the original version. It's called The 12 Days After Christmas. Now, I really love this version. I only found out about it because in high school we sang this as a choir. And it's so funny. The whole thing is what the person who received the 12-day of gifts, what they did with all these gifts after Christmas was over, including things like their mother getting sick and having to use the 3 French hens to make chicken soup. My personal favorite part, though, is where the character says, the 7 swimming swans had all drowned. That is awesome. So yeah, again, I know it's kind of a cheat to put 3 songs in one slot, but what can I say? I like to give you guys your money's worth, and instead of 12, I guess you just got a couple extras. Number 8, Feels Like Christmas by Elmo Shropshire. Now, you might know Elmo Shropshire as the guy who sang Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, and maybe you'd hear that and think, oh, okay, I bet this is a silly one. No, it's kind of heartbreaking. And in a good way. The song is framed as Santa deciding he's not going to go out and deliver presents this year because he just doesn't feel like he's in the spirit. And some people get more than they need, others are just spoiled, and then most people are just forgotten about at Christmas time. And then the chorus goes into saying, it would feel like Christmas to people everywhere. It would feel like Christmas if we all learned to share. It's so simple and so brilliant. The only criticism I have of it is that at the very end he gets a little cute with it and decides to sing, will it feel like Christmas when Elmo Shropshire's on the air? Well, yeah, it'll feel like Christmas, but we should still learn to share. And it kind of destroys the point of the song a little bit. I think he should have just committed to the fact that it was serious. I don't think he's really used to singing serious songs or being known for that, so he kind of felt the need to throw in a joke, but it didn't need it. The song is really perfect, and it really sums up the sort of like Dickensian idea of Christmas, that Christmas is not about what you get, it's about what you give. Number 7, I live in Tennessee, I'm a Tennessean, I love my state. Tender Tennessee Christmas. I feel like this is one of those songs that probably doesn't get a lot of airplay in the rest of the country, although I visited all over the country. I haven't been all over the country at Christmas time, so I've never heard this song play anywhere else. But I would imagine in the southern states it gets some play, and most other places it doesn't. But you should give it a listen, because it's all about just kind of appreciating where you are and where your home is at Christmas. In fact, the main chorus line is, not chorus line like dancers, but the line in the chorus is, I know there's more snow in Colorado than my boots will ever see, but a tender Tennessee Christmas is the only Christmas for me. It's just about appreciating where you are at Christmas time, and appreciating where your home is at Christmas time, and not wishing you were somewhere else just because it seems more like somewhere on a Christmas card. And also because I live in Tennessee and there really is nowhere else I'd rather be living at Christmas time. It just does kind of fill me with a little bit of joy and a little bit of whimsy this time of year. Number 6. This was one that got played a lot when I was a kid, but I don't hear it play on that much on the radio anymore. It's the David Bowie Bing Crosby crossover, try saying that 3 times fast, Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy. This is one of those Christmas songs that makes me cry like a baby, especially after I had a child, because the whole song is just about how Christmas represents the best of us as humans. It represents the best of what we are capable of. And that one day, the promise of Christmas will be fulfilled, and there really will be peace on earth. The middle of it is basically saying that we should raise our kids for this hope, that they can accomplish it and that they should hope for it. And the prayer that that dream will come true, maybe not for us, but for our kids and for our kids' sake. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it. It's a beautiful song, and I think it's just over 2 minutes. It's really short, but it's so simple and so powerful. Also, just the idea that Bing Crosby and David Bowie would be like a dream team pair is something that you would just never expect. And the friendly way they interact when you see them sing it live on this little Christmas special, you can see them sing it live on YouTube, and just the way they interact is very cute. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Vince Vance and the Valiants. This is not the Mariah Carey song. This is the original All I Want for Christmas Is You. And yes, it does get some radio play. However, it's amazing to me that the Mariah Carey song gets played to death to the point that I feel like everybody in the world that I talk to makes a point to tell me they're sick of this song. I feel like it comes up in conversations that it doesn't even have any business coming up in. I'm like, oh yeah, how's your coffee? Oh yeah, I love this peppermint mocha, it's delicious. I hate that Mariah Carey song. While the Vince Vance and the Valiants version, like, it just gets kind of swept under the rug as, oh yeah, that song with the same name as Mariah Carey's. No, it not only came first, it's better in every way. Much like Merry Christmas, Darling, it's one of those songs that is just, it's just iconic in how well it captures the sense of wanting to be with somebody that you love on Christmas time and being alone. Number 4 is kind of a cheat, I know, but I had to include it. I had to include the entire album in the number 4 slot because it is so underrated. And I think a lot of that comes down to people have a memory about this group and being like, oh, lame boy bands with like kids and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But really give it a chance. The Hanson Christmas album. I know that's a weird thing to include. I know. Trust me, I'm a grown man recommending it to you. It's weird. Under the official title, Hanson Snowed In, it is mostly covers. In fact, I think it's all covers. But they do several really good covers, and among them is the only cover of Christmas Means to Me by Stevie Wonder that I have ever liked. I love the original. I have never heard a cover I liked except the Hanson version. In fact, I think that specific song was the only song on it that was really a hit. But it's filled with great covers, including Merry Christmas Baby. It was released in 1997 at the height of the band's success, and again, they were a boy band, and even worse, they were kids and they were siblings, so you can imagine it was something like liking Justin Bieber in 2012. So it wasn't exactly something that would have been popular to like at the time, I would guess. However, I'm not in middle school or high school, I'm married, and I have friends, so I don't care what anybody thinks of me anymore. I love this album, and I think you should check it out at least once. If you don't like it or you find their voices annoying, fine, fair game to you, but give it at least one listen first. Alright, so we're finally into the top 3. So these are the ones I think are the most underappreciated. Starting with The Christmas Song by the Raveonettes. And if you're wondering, their name is a reference to the classic Buddy Holly song, Rave On. Raveonettes. I think that's an awesome band name. Well, this song is kind of the opposite of Baby It's Cold Outside, which I did do a whole entire lyric analysis video on. If you're interested in checking it out, it's on my channel. And this is just a great song about not somebody, you know, two people bantering, you know, I want to stay, oh no, I have to go, but I want to stay. It's not anything like that. This song is a song from the perspective of somebody who has to go for one reason or another, but desperately wishes they could stay with the person that they're with. And there's even a little indication towards the end of the song that they may actually do just that, and just stay forever. It's a very romantic song. It's a very beautiful, poignant song. It's set to this great rhythm. The first time I heard it was actually in the movie Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. A lot of people really hate that movie. I don't know why. I really like it. Kind of reminds me of a National Lampoon sort of thing, where the characters are kind of just, kind of unlikable, but Anyway, so this song is just fantastic, and it was the song that, after hearing it in that movie, got me into the Raveonettes as a band. Number 2, My Favorite Time of Year by Peter Cincotti. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. It's Italian. I think it's pronounced Cincotti. This song was on the radio 1 year. It played like 4 times, and then for 5 years I could not find this song. I could not find it anywhere, and to make matters worse, I couldn't remember the name of it, and I remembered the guy had a funny name that I hadn't heard before, but I couldn't even remember his name. And after years, with only the lyrics I remembered to go off of, something about Broadway and Broadway glitters, Broadway glittering, something like that, finally I found this song, and it is one of my favorites. The sad thing is, it doesn't seem like you can find a really good recording of it. I don't think it's on Spotify. In fact, the only place I found it was on YouTube. It's going to be in the description of this video, and I cannot recommend you check it out enough. If you like that sort of like Harry Connick Jr., Michael Bublé sort of sound, or if you're into old crooners like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, you're going to like this. It's got that very old sort of sound to it. Okay, here is some honorable mentions. The Bell That Couldn't Jingle. And it's kind of a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer style song about a bell that couldn't jingle and how eventually it does. And it's a heartwarming little song. Not a lot to say about it, I just think it's cute. Fairy Tale of New York. I think most people have heard this song, but it just doesn't seem like it gets a lot of play, at least not where I live. Tinsel and Light by Train. I only heard this song for the first time the other day, and it was on the radio, so maybe this song does get a lot of play, I really don't know, but I've only ever heard it once, and I did really like it. Hey Santa by Carney and Wendy Wilson, which used to play a lot when I was a kid, but now I think it's been literally years since I've heard it on the radio, and I have to include it. Alright, so with all of those honorable mentions out of the way, let's look at number 1. Number 1, I Need You Christmas by the Jonas Brothers. So, November, December of 2020 rolls around. The pandemic is crazy. I'm in, like many of you, I was in a point in a state where I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then we started into the Christmas season. And sitting around at Thanksgiving with my family, things felt normal. It was so needed. And I just felt this relief of the fact that there was something still normal in this world. And right about that time was the first time I heard this song. And rather than kind of analyzing or telling you what I think the song is about or why it touched me when it did, because the first time I heard it, I cried. Like, cried hard. I think it was just the time. This song was so needed for me at this time. I just want to read you a few of the lyrics rather than analyzing it, so you can just kind of see. I think you'll get it. I need you Christmas, friends by the fire to hold. Times have been lonely, and lately I just feel so alone. Seasons change, come and go, but there's one thing I know. You'll just stay the same. You don't ever change. I think a lot of people think that folks like me who are really big Christmas nuts, I think sometimes they think we're crazy and they're like, you need to tone it down and you know, enough with the Christmas music, enough with this, that, and the other. And I don't think a lot of people realize that Christmas that sort of hope is something that a lot of us need in our life, because we are surrounded by cynicism, surrounded by cynical people, and sometimes we don't have the option to get away from it. And having that time of just this beautiful, simple hope that everything, which is the Christmas hope, and it is the Christian hope, that one day everything will be okay. And I think sometimes that hope and that little reminder that Christmas gives us of that hope, as we go into the Christmas season, try to be generous. Try to be charitable to the people around you. Not just with your money, like you normally hear at charity, but like be charitable to them with your patience, with your kindness. Because we're all in different places. We're all in different journeys. And now is the time to open your shut-up hearts, to view your fellow travelers on the way to the grave as exactly that, as people with feelings and emotional and mental and physical needs that are not necessarily always being met, and just try to show as much kindness as you can this Christmas season, even if you get a little impatient with us, because sometimes you'll meet a person and they just need Christmas. Thank you everybody for watching. That's all I got for today. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.